Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I'm just hopping on here a couple of minutes early to see how straight or how crooked I am. And I am pretty straight this afternoon. Just seeing if I can see all, yep, I can see my whole glass mat. So you should be able to see, because I have a tendency sometimes to stamp down here instead of up here where you can see, and I wanted to try to fix that problem by seeing more of my mat. Well, my laptop says it is 4 o'clock here in central Missouri, so I'm going to get started. If you're here and you're watching, if you could comment, that would be great. I'd love to see comments. Although the last 2 times I've been doing a live video, the comments don't show up on my laptop when I'm live. As soon as I finish the video, they all pop up. So I will do my best. I don't know how to correct that. Today we're going to work again with the Silly Old Friends stamp set and dies, and the Sweet Words and Label dies, and the embossing folder with the 100 Acre Woods on there. So this is all of a set in a suite called Sweet Silly Bear. Or no, forget the sweet, Silly Old Bear. That's all it is. I'm getting the sweet because I'm looking at the Sweet Words and Labels dies. It's Silly Old Bear is the name of the suite, and it's a mega suite. It has 2 stamp sets. Each stamp set has die that go with it. It has the 12 by 12 paper and an embossing folder. So let's get started. Here what I did today is I'm using one of the new ink colors, and this is Hydrangea Hue. It's just a beautiful color, kind of periwinkle. And it went here, I thought, with the sky in the background of this Winnie the Pooh with his balloon, and I made it be a birthday card. So this is a fast and easy card to make, especially since the dies, there's a whole page of different scenes shaped for the dies, for the 2 different or for this die, but some of them go landscape, some of them go portrait. And then on another page is a whole page of different scenes that are kind of like rectangles. And then you can cut them out and use them to make cards. I'm going to use some of these soon. I used one yesterday, just a very small one. But if you were to cut out all the oval die ones and all these rectangle ones on the other page, if you just did a page of each, you'd have enough to make 21 cards without really ever having to stamp or anything like that. They make beautiful cards on their own. And if you did both sheets of each one, you would have enough to make 42 cards. So I think that's pretty exciting. So let's get started today. I'm going to put the measurements for this card in the description, although since there's only a few pieces, they're not that many measurements. So I'm going to start off with a Veery Vanilla piece that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, which is a pretty much normal card base. Then I took this is our new crisp cantaloupe embossing, our cardstock, and I used the new 100 Acre Woods embossing folder, and I added some ink to the embossing folder just to try to make it stand out more. Can you see, maybe compared to this one, you can kind of see the trees better. And I think these are like a little river that's running through there. But I just wanted to see what happened if I tried that. And so I think it makes it kind of pop up. I used crisp cantaloupe ink also to match the paper so it's tone on tone. I'm thinking if I would have used a darker color, like maybe Early Express or something, it might have made them even pop out more. But for today, we're going to stick with the cantaloupe, or the crisp cantaloupe. So we're just going to get our glue ready. And I'm going to add some, but except for I just remembered something. Now that I'm putting this glue on here, I don't want to do this yet because I want to fix the ribbons. So we are going to try and see if we could do that after we've already put glue on there. So I ordered, I have 2 orders. This order came in, my first order came in, my other order I put in about 5 or so days after the first one is not in yet. So I don't have any of the in color ribbons yet. So what I did to solve that for now is I have this basic beige ribbon with a pecan pie strip running through it. And I'm going to take the Cantaloupe Crisp. Again, here's the new stamp pads that open up so easily. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Blend. And I have this piece of scrap paper so that I don't get crisp cantaloupe all over my glass mat. And I'm just going to change this ribbon to be crisp cantaloupe. This is a very easy thing to do if you need a specific color of ribbon that you don't have. If you have a white or a vanilla or a basic beige ribbon, you can change the color. Now you could have reinkers too that you could use, and use a water painter, a water brush. But I decided the blending brush seemed easier. So now I have that about the color that I want. And there's no need for us to do the back because we're not even going to see the back of the ribbon. Let me find my tear and tape. So I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape. I kind of wanted to go below. I'm going to close this because inevitably I will stick my arm. And then I will have crisp cantaloupe on my arm. Okay, so I had this little piece left over from something I was doing and I stuck it there, but I need a bigger piece than that for this. So I'm going to kind of look at this and see which is the top, just to be sure. So this is the bottom. So I'm going to add a piece of tear and tape here. And that one is kind of long. I'm going to add another one over here. And I'm going to put 2 pieces on my hand here so they can be waiting for me to put on after I lay the ribbon, just to be sure that they're anchored down. Rub this pretty good. Get my Picket tool. You want to kind of rub this good because it's a textured surface. Switch my Picket tool around. And I'm going to be careful not to stick my fingers in any of the glue that I mistakenly put on here. This happens to me a lot when I'm trying to put a ribbon in the middle of the card base. I inevitably get the glue on the card front and remember, oh yeah, I wanted to add some ribbon. So we're going to take a piece here and we're going to cross over and we're going to put this piece here, and we could kind of trim this since I did cut it. I wanted to be sure I had enough when I was cutting. So there we go. Just cut off a little bit. Now I have these pieces waiting here on my hand to anchor it down. This just gives it a little bit more staying power. Now I'm going to add a little bit more glue here in the middle just because I know some of that is already dried. And we will add this to our card front. Like I said, this is a fast and easy card. Let me be sure I have that straight. I love this new color. In fact, I love all the new in colors. So now, this is the picture I took. It's Pooh getting some honey out of his cabinet. And I'm going to pop it up right down here with some dimensionals. I really like these stripes on the back of this card too, but it's just so hard for me to use it as a card front and miss being able to cut out all these seams. Does that happen to you? Sometimes you just love both sides of the paper so much it's so hard to decide which side to use. Well, how about that? They're sticking to my nails today. It's one of those days. And then I'm going to use my pick a tool here to pick off the top paper. Do you find the dimensional papers laying all around your house? Sometimes I do. Sometimes the dog must somehow get him on his paw or something and he walks into the living room and before you know it you have little octagon pieces of paper laying around your living room floor. So I'm going to put that on there. Next I'm going to take, this is the Happy Birthday from the Boardwalk Fun set because it's a nice bold happy birthday, and I'm going to use the crisp cantaloupe again. Let's see if we can get it straight. I so much like stamping first and cutting out second, but my cut and emboss machine makes the camera shake so bad if I bring it over here. Oh, I missed it just a little bit on the B. I'm going to see if I can fix it. Nope, I can't. So we shall turn it over. And we will try again. Here we go. That looks great. Oh, I keep wanting to close it like the old ones. And what I would really need to do is take these names off here and put them on, like I'm going to put one down here on the ink pad just so I remember what color it is. And then I might put one on the outside so when I put them in my stamp pad holder, I can tell which stamp pad is which. So we'll pop these up again. This up again with dimensionals. We're going to put this centered here at the top. Now, perhaps I should have, on this one I used my, I'm trying to use up some of my stack of embellishments, but since this is an in color, I'm going to use, look at these cute little butterflies, and they come in all the in colors. So I'm going to grab the crisp cantaloupe ones. Or the other thing I have for this is I still have some of the gold bees that would look nice, especially with Winnie the Pooh and the honey. And I have the champagne ones that look pretty nice too. So let's see if we put one big butterfly up here on the greeting. That will look nice. And then we could put two small ones. One perhaps over here. They're just fluttering around the 100 acre woods. And we'll put one right down here. That one kind of really blends in with the background, doesn't it? I'll have to put those in a new sleeve now. So on the inside, I'm going to do, actually on the inside and on the envelope, which I have an envelope here, I'm just going to stamp this Winnie the Pooh stamp. This is our new hybrid black ink, which you can watercolor with or use the alcohol blends with, instead of having to decide, do I use StazOn, do I use Memento? Now we have one ink for both of them. And I'm going to stamp this down here. I have to get better at stamping. There we go. Okay, we'll let that dry just a minute. And I'm waiting for the sparkle ink color pens to come in for to color with, because I think that would be so much fun. So instead of doing that, I'm going to just color with my ink pad here. I squeeze it a little bit so I have some up here in my lid. And today I remembered my water painter. I'm going to move this around so that I don't accidentally stick my hand in that. So we'll start with the envelope here. We'll squeeze a little bit of water down. Oh, you know, I should have colored them in with, now that I thought about it, and I'll do the one on the inside with that, with the golden glow ink pad, because that's more Winnie the Pooh's color. But for this one, since I already started, the one on the envelope is going to be crisp cantaloupe. I'm not squeezing my brush too much to get water, because I don't want the envelope to get overly wet. I really should have re-stamped this, because he's kind of light here in some spots, and I probably will when I'm finished. I could probably put him in the Stampin' Positioner and get it pretty close to being correct, since I've already colored him in. Let's just try that. Since this card is very fast, let me get my Stampin' Positioner. We'll try to see if we can get it lined up. No guarantees. This is just going to be trial and error. Okay. So, here we go. We're going to lay our envelope here. You know, they're blasting. For the next couple of weeks, they're going to be blasting along the highway, because they're putting in here in Missouri, we have these parts where it's hilly, where there's a third lane for the trucks. So there's this one part where the trucks are always going slow around here. So now they're going to put in a third lane. So they have to blast the side of the hill to put it in there. So if you hear rumbling, that's what it is. So what I'm going to do now is I have him laying there. I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to lay him right down, lining him up the best that I can by just looking through, which is one of the great things about using the photopolymer stamps. I'm going to put on my Stampin' Positioner. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to get my hybrid ink back. Okay, fingers crossed that this is going to work. I really love our new positioner, and it would be great for times like this. Not that it would be that hard just to get another envelope. Look. Ta-da! I'm going to do it one more time just because this arm here, for some reason, maybe I'm not pushing right on the stamp. He worked good yesterday. Let's try one more time. Now I'll probably get a very splotchy arm. And I'm just going to kind of press extra hard there on that arm. There we go. Now doesn't that look so much better? And it only took a few moments. Although he is the wrong color. So maybe we should try that with this one. Because again, I didn't get that arm very good. So let's put this in here. This time, we'll take him off and lay him again. Get him lined up where we want him. Pick him up with a Stampin' Positioner. Ink up my stamp. Put him down here again. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. Oh, I missed it by a little bit, but it doesn't really look too bad. It's a little like he's wiggling. Let's try adding some color to him. That might help him a little. I had it off just by a little bit. Now if I would have just started out using my Stampin' Positioner, he would have been perfect every time. So let me find my scrap paper back again, because I just want to clean off the crisp cantaloupe here. And I want to open up the Golden Glow one because that's more Winnie the Pooh's color. I will squeeze it again to get some in the middle. And here we go. Oh yes, this is a much better color. And it doesn't even really take that long to color him in. And there he is, all colored in. I think he's a little bit lighter over here. There we go. Now we'll clean that off our brush and lay it aside. Put the lid back on our ink. Now if you wanted to, you could have had, I have quite a few little characters already cut out with the dies. Let me see where they're at. Here they are. And so I could have always put one of these in the corner too. Like here it says jugs. Here's exactly this one, only in a cutout. And so if I decide I noticed how they don't have even color on him here. This arm is a little bit darker, a little darker around his nose. So I could have just put this down there. But I think I'm going to leave him like that. It kind of looks like he's wiggling, jiggling, because he's a silly old bear. So there we go. Another Silly Old Friends stamp set and Silly Old Bear DSP. If you have any questions, if you could put them in the comments, I always go back and read mine, even for people who have watched the replay. And join me tomorrow when I'll have day 3 of the Silly Old Bear cards. Have a great afternoon. Happy stamping. Bye.